Alright, so who has heard the fable that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink? Well, pretty much everyone has heard that fable, right? So like teachers, they pretty much are gonna talk to you about the subject. They're gonna tell you what you need to do to pass the class or whatever, but they can't actually physically do your homework for you. We know, I wish that my professor would do that for me, but you gotta do it yourself. So the Chinese proverb I have today is teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. So teachers come in many shapes and forms, just not in school. They can come in your social life, your athletics, or your friends. So I have 3 examples of how teachers open the door, but you have to do the work yourself. So my first example is gonna be about in high school in weight training. My second example is gonna be of my brother, who's stubborn, but he's 6'8", so I'm gonna force him to play basketball. My third example is in video games, how I never wanted to play video games when I was a kid because I was scared to play them. Like Grand Theft Auto, I was scared to play them, but I did anyway, and I became good at it. So my first example of how you gotta open the door, how the teachers open the door, but you must enter yourself, is in weight training. So in high school, my coach we do 3 days of weights. So for the first day, we do bench, and the second day we do squats, and the third day we do cleans. And then, so one day we do bench with the team, and he shows us how to do it and everything. And the next day we're supposed to do squats, but we're supposed to do it by ourselves. And me being lazy, I don't like lifting weights. That's why I'm so skinny right now. I don't like lifting weights. So like the second day when we do it by ourselves, I wouldn't do it. I just sit around and be lazy. And the third day, my coach would ask me, hey, did you do what I told you to do? Did you lift the weights? And I'd be like, no, I didn't. And he was like, why not? And I said, it hurts. I don't like lifting weights. So this example, he opened the door for me to lift weights, but I was just too lazy and it hurt too much, and I didn't listen to him, so I didn't physically do it. So even though he opened the door for me, I didn't take advantage of the opportunity. So my second example is of my brother. So my brother is 6'8", and he's 16. So I told him, I said, hey, you need to play basketball. Like, I don't care if you don't like it, you need to play basketball and do something with yourself because you're 6'8". You should just do it. So I kind of showed him how to play basketball a little bit, but he's just lazy. He just wants to sit around on his phone all day and just relax and chill and do nothing. And I said, Sammy, you can actually play. Like, he's pretty good. He got some scouts going to his games and looking at him. So I kind of we kind of work out. I kind of help him play basketball, but he just doesn't like it. But he's actually good. So I try and motivate him every day. I'm like, yo, you want to just be a bum all day? You want to actually do something with your life? I'm trying to motivate him and get him to do something. So I'm kind of just being a teacher and opening the door for him because he's so tall and he's actually good at basketball. So now he actually took advantage of what I was teaching him. So now he got looks and he's doing really good. He got different travel ball teams looking at him. So now he just got to keep his GPA up and he'll have some scholarship offers. So my third example of how teachers open the door, but you must enter yourself, is in video games. So I never was a big video game player. I never enjoyed it. I always was scared of video games. When I was a kid, I get scared. When I hear GTA or whatever, I get scared. I never wanted to play. So finally, when I was 14, I started playing video games. I was old, but I started playing. So then my dad showed me, because my dad used to play video games, and he showed me how to play video games, and I was like, hey, it's kind of cool. So then I started playing, and I got really good. I play every day, and I got really, really good. So he opened the door for me to play video games, and I took hand of it, and I still play today. Fortnite, Call of Duty, 2K, all that stuff. So I'm good at it now. So in conclusion, teachers open the door. In conclusion, the Chinese proverb, teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself, is true in everyday life. Teachers just don't have to be teachers in school. They can also be teachers in your social life, your friends, your family. So the 3 examples of this were my first example, which is in weight training, my second example, which is of my brother, and my third example, which is in video games. So in the end, you can always open the door for someone, but you can't make them physically do it by themselves.
All right, Devin, there's a lot of good stuff in this speech, and I don't have too many things that I had a problem with. I like the way you led into the quote. You gave us your position at the beginning. There's a preview that's relatively easy to follow. You transition between each of the points very clearly. Nobody's going to get lost listening to you. You give us good detail on each of the examples and tell a little bit of the story. Sometimes it could be a little bit more smooth when you're telling the story, but I appreciated the little bits and pieces of detail that you tried to throw in there about your brother, for instance, and how tall he is, about the kinds of exercises that your coach wanted you to do, that kind of thing. I think that you've got the right idea for doing these presentations, and so you're on top of it there. Organizationally, like I said, everything was solid. Presentation things, generally everything is also solid. There's lots of energy in your presentation. There's a good variety in what you're doing. For the most part, there are a couple of things that you might want to watch out for. You have a tendency to hold the quote up at chest level, and you don't need it up there most of the time, but it's like it's a go-to thing. Whenever you're not gesturing, you grab it on both ends, and then you're kind of holding it again. So you don't need to do that. You could, in fact, you'd probably be a little bit better off if you just put the quote in your pocket and didn't come back to it until the end of the speech. You don't even need to refer to it again. I do think that you kind of lock yourself into one position while you're standing there, and you get focus. It's like focus is not necessarily a bad thing, but your focus ought to be everybody in the audience, and you have a tendency you're going to stand in the one place, and I felt like you were talking to me the whole time, which is great, except there are 18 other people in the room. You need to talk to them too. And so even though you're looking up, all of your focus is right here, which is, I'm glad to be included, but
spread the love to everyone.
That's it. Spread the love. You gotta share. You gotta engage everybody, and I think that's maybe the one thing that you're going to have to work on a little bit more. And I don't seem to remember that was a problem in other speeches. Maybe it's just because you're having to think off the top of your head while you're talking to us now that it feels like you have to do that. Okay, thank you.